how to find a buyer for your business and what type of buyer tends to pay more for a business acquisition, because there's different groups of buyers and one group tends to spend more on a business acquisition than the other one. Not always, but I first want to address how you find a buyer for your business. If you're in the process of getting ready to sell your business, or you're thinking about it, or it's maybe in 3 to 5 years from now, how you find somebody who's going to pay you for your business is obviously the number one question, right? And there's different avenues you can take for this. I obviously highly advise that you hire a business broker or an investment banker, some sort of M&A advisor. Yes, I am a broker myself, but I think a lot of business owners, just being completely transparent, they underestimate what the process looks like in terms of time. It takes anywhere from 6 to 12 months. What happens behind the scenes that their broker or banker is doing, and just everything that goes into it, time and answering questions and meetings you have to be on. It is an absolute process for selling a business, and I genuinely do think it's worth the value of paying these individuals to help you do that. One of the reasons being for their connections to buyers, right? So let's say you're not going to engage a broker or a banker to sell your business. You're going to try and do it on your own. You can list it on platforms like BizBuySell or BizQuest or Axial. These are essentially the Zillow type of platforms for selling businesses, and you can do it on your own. I will say, for someone who's been in this industry for a while, I can spot those listings. They stand out like a sore thumb, and it does always kind of deter me from looking at them, because I know what's going to go into that process of the initial conversations and trying to gather documents, trying to gather correct documents, trying to organize the information in a way that is easily readable for me to compare to other investments. And so a lot of times business owners don't do that. They don't know how to do that, and that's not a knock on them. There's just a way of listing a business and gathering information that makes it appealing and easy to read. And so when I see for sale by owner on some of these listing platforms, it doesn't say that, but you can tell within 3 seconds. And unfortunately, most of the times I'll tend to skip past those because I already know what the process will look like. But with that said, you can list it on these platforms. You will get inundated with interest from buyers. They're going to ask to see more information. They're going to send you their contact information for more info on you and your business. And from that very first step, that's when brokers and bankers, they have a whole process set up. From the second that buyer clicks that button, an NDA is sent out, a vetting process is done. They gather financials on this buyer before sending information about your business. They have a whole marketing packet. So there's a pretty solid system in place from the second that buyer hits, hey, I'm interested, send me more information. Whereas when it's listed by a business owner, it's kind of just, all right, let's start conversations on email, get on the phone, right? It can be a little chaotic, and chaos tends to kill deals, and so business owners will go through this process several times until they're just burnt out and say, forget it, right? Getting off track, so going back, you can list it on these platforms, or if you know people in your industry who are looking to buy a business like yours, right? And this could be competitors, or just through your network and your relationships, you can start to let people know you want to sell your business that way, and that can be a way of finding and bringing buyers to the table. But again, why I highly recommend going with a broker or a banker is because they're going to have a process. They're going to have a streamlined process of doing this, not only getting your business in front of buyers, but qualifying and vetting these types of buyers. And so you can essentially sit back and let the broker or banker come to you and say, hey, I've got 14 people interested. They're all qualified. You had 50 people come, but I had to qualify, and only 14 are qualified. Let's have the conversations, and from there you start to weed out offers. And so they can be very beneficial because they know tons of buyers. You know, if they've been doing this for a while, they probably have a CRM filled with qualified buyers that are tagged for specific geographical locations, what type of industries they're looking for, the amount of money or capital they have available to invest in a business. And so they can immediately send out your business confidentially to these lists of buyers that could be interested in, and within a few weeks you've got buyers right there. They have private equity that they can go to. They have strategic buyers, which kind of leads me into my next part of this video. But strategic buyers are people who already own businesses, whether in your industry or in a similar complementary industry. And so you have two types of buyers, right? You have financial buyers, and then you have the strategic buyers that I just mentioned. And the financial buyers tend to be more of the individual entrepreneurs, some private equity, maybe some family offices, the search fund group that are out there. And they're looking for a return on their investment. They tend to think around a 10-year timeline before they exit and sell the business. And they're going to really comb through your financials. Again, they're looking for a return on their money. And so they're not trying to push the purchase price down, but if they can, great. And if they can increase their ROI, great. I'm not saying they're coming in and they're being sharks, but if they can increase their ROI, great, right? And they, again, are looking more in a 10-year timeline, whereas these strategic buyers, they see your business and they see almost an immediate benefit, almost an immediate synergistic benefit to buying your business. And what I mean by that is they see if they buy your business and you're in the same industry, they can expand geographically, maybe meaning they can go out further and they can push their services or their products further location-wise. Or they are in a complementary or somewhat similar type of industry where if they buy your business is going to get them closer to suppliers or vendors, or it's going to get them closer to customers, right? So they're going to buy your business to expand horizontally, or they're going to buy your business to expand vertically. Those are strategic buyers. They tend to think more long term. They tend to see the value as a whole. Your business is going to complement their entire vision, right? Not just financials, although they're going to heavily look at your financials, but they see the whole big picture and they tend to think much more long term. These are the types of buyers that sometimes will pay more for your business, and they won't try and drive the price down as much as financial buyers will, because they see the benefit of getting closer to customers or opening up an office in a different location or getting closer to the manufacturers of their business, for their business, right? So they tend to just say, yep, I'll pay you this price, but I want this, this, and this. So if you're going to sell your business and you want to get the highest possible price, I do advise hiring a broker or a banker, and then maybe focus on looking for strategic buyers. They might send in a little bit higher offer price. Now, it's not going to be dramatic or $1 million, $2 million over asking price, but they tend to have a little bit higher letter of intents than these financial buyers do. Now, the caveat and the flip side to that is that the strategic buyers, they're business owners, they already own businesses, they have management and processes in place. So they might not need certain key personnel at your business. And so it's really highly advisable to get to know these strategic buyers. Sit down with them, ask them what their plans are with the employees of your business and the customers of your business and how they're going to operate your business, right? Because they might try to merge and roll these things together. So they might also not need certain people from your business, which might not be interesting to you. So it's important to sit with these types of buyers and ask them questions and see what their plans are. So how do you find buyers? You can give it a go on yourself. You can list it on these listing platforms. You can use your own network. You can reach out to competitors if that's what you want to do, if you want to let them know you're selling and see if they're interested in making an offer. Or you can go the route of hiring a M&A advisor, which would be a business broker or an investment banker, to help get your business ready to go to market, package it all together, get it listed, and then they're going to bring it to their network along with doing what you would do and list it on other platforms. Sometimes brokers and bankers don't even do that because their network is so big, and that's ideally what you want, right? If they have such a good network and they've been doing this for a while, where they can just keep it off market and bring buyers right to you, speeds the whole process up, right? And then from there you can start to see, well, are these all financial buyers or are there a few strategic buyers in here? And maybe you want to prioritize conversations with the strategic buyers to see where they're coming in, and then take maybe a handful of the top financial buyers and see where they're coming in, right? And this is under the assumption that you're looking for the highest possible price, which I think we all are, right? Outside of taking care of your employees, and that's when maybe seeing what these strategic buyers are going to do versus what these financial buyers are going to do after they acquire your business. So that's how you find buyers. That's how you can hire help to find maybe more qualified buyers. And then who's going to pay more? Sometimes you tend to see strategic buyers pay more for a business if it makes synergistic sense for that business, where it's going to help them grow as a whole outside of just the financials. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions on how to find buyers or the difference between strategic and financial buyers, feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to answer in the comments.